Welcome to This Explainer. Look, today we're talking directly to you, the pharma leaders and executives running the show. We're diving into a massive shift in how field forces are prepared. We're talking about leaving behind all that costly guesswork and moving into a new era of purely data-driven performance. Let's get right into a solution that tackles one of the biggest, yet somehow most ignored expenses in the pharmaceutical industry right now.
Let's kick things off with a massive number, $6 million. Based on industry benchmarks, that is the average annual training budget for a pharma company. And look, we know that isn't just software. That's the heavy lifting, upskilling teams, travel costs, losing days in the field, renting out those expensive hotel conference rooms for workshops. And you spend all of this for exactly one reason, right? So your reps can go out there and clearly, persuasively educate healthcare professionals about some seriously complex medical products. But here's the catch. Despite that massive $6 million spend, there's a statistic that honestly should make any sales leader pause. Only 16%, just 16% of reps are consistently delivering highly relevant messaging to doctors out in the field. Think about the real-world impact of that for a second. That means 84% of the time, the value of your product, it's just getting lost in translation. You're pouring millions in, but less than 1 in 5 reps are actually hitting the mark every single time they walk into a clinic.
So why is this happening? Well, picture your absolute best rep. Let's call her Sarah. How is she practicing right now? Traditional training usually means Sarah is stuck doing these awkward, highly theoretical role plays, staring down her own colleagues in some fluorescent-lit room. Honestly, it's just an unnatural environment. It makes people uncomfortable, and the feedback she gets, it's completely subjective because, well, her peers aren't actual doctors. But the solution we're breaking down today completely flips that old model on its head. It offers dynamic, measurable, and hyper-realistic simulations that reps can do entirely on their own time.
Section 1. Introducing SpeakWise AI, turning theory into performance.
Okay, so meet SpeakWise. It's an AI-powered, multimodal training platform built specifically to bridge that massive gap between training theory and actual high-stakes commercial performance. It literally takes the anxiety of public speaking totally out of the equation. Instead, it gives reps like Sarah a safe, measurable space to practice and nail down their pitches before they ever sit across from a client. And for you, the executives, it gives you exactly what you need: clear, objective, manager-level dashboards and enterprise performance metrics. You can literally see exactly how confident and prepared your reps are before they step into a doctor's office. It takes the guesswork completely out of the hands of sales leadership.
Section 2, 3 layers of analysis, the multimodal approach.
Now, SpeakWise doesn't just, passively listen to what your reps are saying. It evaluates them simultaneously across 3 distinct layers: voice analysis, emotion detection, and real-time interaction with dynamic AI avatars. It seamlessly pulls together speech, emotional, and contextual data, so the simulation actually feels like a living, breathing conversation with a real healthcare provider. It's a holistic learning experience that accurately mirrors the pressure and high stakes of a live clinical interaction.
Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, but how accurate is this AI really? Well, to make sure this isn't just some tech gimmick, the platform relies on something called a signal matrix. This is a highly strict validation framework that targets a 70 to 80% AI human agreement rate. In the real world, hitting that 80% mark means the AI's feedback is basically indistinguishable from having your sharpest human sales manager sitting right there in the room, evaluating the rep alongside you. And crucially, this has all been validated against over 15 years of deep pharma industry expertise. So the coaching recommendations aren't just mathematical fluff. They're practical and genuinely field-ready.
Let's peel back that first layer. Under voice analysis, the AI is objectively scoring things like delivery tempo and words per minute, but it goes way deeper than that. Look, we all have our verbal crutches, right? The ums, the uhs, but, the AI actually tracks these as a filler rate, and it measures pause load to calculate total pause duration. It's specifically built to reward clean, confident, professional communication, helping your reps sound totally authoritative when they're breaking down complex trial data.
Then we have the emotion detection layer. This tracks time-stamped facial micro-expressions to gauge exactly how stressed or engaged a rep is during their pitch. Imagine knowing the exact moment in a dense oncology presentation where your rep starts showing signs of stress, or breaks eye contact, or just loses their confidence. Instead of getting some generic feedback like "do better next time," sales managers get pinpoint data. This allows for incredibly targeted, custom coaching right on the exact moments where the rep is struggling the most.
The final layer is where it really comes alive with customizable AI avatars. And listen, these are not your average generic chatbots. They act exactly like your target doctors. You can build custom healthcare professional personas completely mirroring client traits based on their specific role or specialty. You want to program an avatar to be that notoriously tough, skeptical doctor who always throws the hardest industry objections at your reps? You can do that. You can force them to adapt on the fly, and you can even run these simulations in multiple languages.
Section 3, Enterprise Integration and Scaling, built specifically for the field force.
But let's be real, the greatest tool in the world is totally useless if it just lives in a silo. SpeakWise is engineered to seamlessly drop into your existing workflows. It plugs directly into the major CRMs you're already using. We're talking Viva integration, Salesforce compatibility, HubSpot alignment. Because of this, practice stops being this isolated once-a-year workshop. It transforms into a repeatable, daily habit right inside the systems your reps use every day. And with strict, secure access controls, it easily scales across massive, highly regulated pharma operations without adding any extra friction.
Section 4. Validating Success and ROI. Proven value for top-tier pharma.
Ultimately, we have to talk about tangible benefits. Success isn't just a subjective feeling. It's about observable performance trajectories, where the AI's feedback aligns perfectly with what human coaches are trying to achieve. The data shows real results. Pre- and post-self-assessments reveal massive jumps in clarity and a huge reduction in speech interruptions. This tangible ROI, this hard data proving that reps are genuinely getting sharper, is exactly the kind of value that drives companies to expand this technology across their entire global sales force.
So the core transformation here is huge. You are stepping out of the dark. No more costly uncertainty, no more just guessing if your reps are ready based on one awkward room role play. Instead, you get absolute, data-backed confidence in your commercial team's readiness. And this is all backed up by an impressive 75% cross-modal AI consistency rate. That means the data you're seeing across their voice, their facial expressions, and the actual words they use, it all lines up to tell one deeply reliable story about their true performance level. Which leaves us with one final, pretty critical thought to ponder. Ask yourself, with literally millions of dollars on the line and absolutely critical medical information at stake in every single clinic visit, can you really afford to send your reps out into the field without knowing the answer to this question? Are your reps truly ready for their next high-stakes conversation?